Hey guys, welcome to the discussion salon. Well, there's nobody here, so I'll be talking to myself. Hey, the one waiting. Would that be me? Who? Hey, welcome to discussion salon. See if a bit more people turn up, then we can have a quick recap of this morning's stream. Then, just usual, have the laugh and giggles. Right? Uh, yeah. Whoever said having a YouTube channel is so easy, they're one person. Who? Hello to the second person. Hello. Nice to see two people here. Yeah, so what's going to happen is let's wait and see if there's a few more, then we'll go for the recap of the thing. Hey Vic. Hey Vic, I'll put the StreamYard up. You want to come in? There you go. StreamYard is up. If you want to pop in and give your opinions, let's get this party started. It's a rather sad party. So, oh, oh, thank God you're having something to eat, mate. I had that Turkish thing. It was very disappointing. It used to be really good there, and the meat was just too salty nowadays. It was just not nice. The sauce was different. Uh, the bread just seemed a little bit different too. It just wasn't pleasant. I don't think I'm going to order from them again. Absolutely fail. And I love that place. Nice place. There was no bread with the meat. Maybe so. So sorry. So sorry. I'm really feeling this well. Feeling that at the moment too. Not well. Uh, so how has everybody's day been doing? Have you all had a brilliant day today? Uh, it's been really grey and murky. I think we've had our summer's finished now. We've had our summer. We've had a nice summer, and we've had an Indian summer. Then we had a massive storm. Massive. One of the biggest I've seen in this area stretched from the north of France right up to the north of England. Yeah. So, and I need a new computer too. My computer decided to play up as well. I feel like bashing it with a hammer. It's just a little bit tits up here today. So, has anybody been up to much? Feels strange talking to myself. Talking to myself. Well, you are talking to yourself. There is some weird feedback. Well, yeah, my fan, my fan That is. So I do apologise. I can't do nothing about that. I just haven't got the money to replace it just yet. Hey Vic, how's it going?
Hey, how you doing, Paul?
Hold on. You hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, I was talking to myself there. I think I'd done my usual thing. I forgot to change over the headsets.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Hold on. Yeah, so yeah, I was talking to my. I forgot to change over the headsets on the computer, so made a bit of a twat of myself as usual.
Yeah, when I was down in the chat, there was like a weird feedback thing, but I don't hear it now.
Yes, my fan. My computer's going.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's not the first time I heard it. I thought you were outside and it sounded like a scooter or a motorcycle or something was going by.
Yeah, no, it's definitely my fan on my computer.
Okay. Okay.
It's
Gotcha.
definitely going there. There's having a few problems, but I can't afford to replace it, and I can't afford to have it fixed because I haven't got anything else to replace it with.
Okay.
So
So it's just
it's either going to die a death or just die.
yeah. Just what it is for the time being, huh?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. So
Yeah, I
you
hear you.
had a bit of an earthquake the other day.
Yeah, that was last night. Yeah,
Yeah,
it was a pretty decent shake. It was about 10 miles, I guess, from where I live was the where it actually
that's.
hit.
I wasn't going to say nothing, but I was just going to say. I mean, you have to prepare for the aftershock, or that could be the. You may have to wait for the full earthquake, because sometimes happens that way, doesn't it?
Could be. I mean, yeah, you never know. Or they're pretty unpredictable, but I guess they're getting better at it. Um,
Hmm.
but yeah, it was a pretty good shake. It was one of those deals where I was looking at my phone and I kind of felt like this little bit of a shake, but at first I thought it was just me. I was like this, I'm my eyes
Well,
or
you
whatever. You know what I mean?
okay? What you do in your personal life, mate? You don't have to put it on, on YouTube. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right, yeah, yeah. But then it kept going, and I was like, oh no, shit, that's an earthquake. And I asked my boys if they felt it, but they were playing their games and they were too invested in that
Yeah,
to even feel it. But then I just Googled uh, earthquake in the area and it was already on there. Yes, it was not big, but enough to feel it. So it's always
yeah.
fun time.
This proves why God loves Britain more than he does the US, because he doesn't give Britain earthquakes.
No earthquakes, huh?
No, well, we do. We have small ones. It's not exactly something to write home about, you know what I mean? But
Right, right. Yeah, I
yeah,
mean
we
I've
don't.
lived in California my whole life, so you're talking 50 years, and I mean there's only been what three like real significant ones. Here there was Loma Prieta. That was the big one that hit San Francisco in '89. There was the one
Yeah,
in Coalinga, and then there was the one in it was in I say L.A., but it was Spike was here. He would know. I can't think of the not Fullerton. It was I can't think
Sam.
of it anyway. But it was in L.A. And that one was pretty
Yeah,
pretty good. So those are the three big ones in the time I've been here.
yeah. So San Francisco's asking for an earthquake, though, isn't it?
Oh yeah, they'll we'll see what happens.
Yeah, because that's on the San Andreas fault.
Yes. Hey Liz.
It is.
Well, it's like anything else, man. Out here we get a lot of people lose their homes every year because the Russian River floods, and a lot of people lose their home because of the wildfires. And when you build houses in the middle of nature, shit happens.
Yeah, that's
Uh,
very
you know,
true. Very
I mean, it's not, it's not that I don't have, sympathy for the people, but it's like, man, you're right on this river, and yeah, it's beautiful until, until
true.
something happens.
Yeah.
You build houses
That's
under a
what.
volcano, and then the volcano erupts. I mean,
Yeah, it's a bit
they,
like
they,
Pompeii. They built a whole town
yeah,
around a volcano.
yeah. Then so anyway, it is what it is. I mean,
Yeah.
but every year then it seems like those things happen. But yeah, one of these
Yeah.
days, I mean, if the world is around long enough, California and probably San Francisco in particular, we'll get a real big one.
Yeah. Yeah. It's very true. So I'm just going to promote some of the thing here. So please don't think I'm being ignoring. I should have done this before, though. You know what I'm like, though. You know.
Oh,
But
what's somebody's in the chat. I don't know. I didn't even see it. If that's what you said, I don't know.
that's a nickel, Vic. Please
Oh.
send it. Yeah, that's Liz. Yeah.
I think I said one of the catchphrases.
Yeah.
Oh, it is what it is. Maybe that's
It
what
it is what it is. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, well, it is what it is. I mean, come on, it's YouTube, for fuck's sake. Couldn't swear, so I apologise. Please, YouTube, please do not to think me. I do not mean to swear. It's just who I am. Okay, so the recap of I actually enjoyed yesterday's discussion with Liz.
Yeah, I did as well. I mean, it's a subject that I really know very, very little to nothing about. So it was
Yeah,
educational to me. I thought
and
she
she
did a
had
good job.
yeah, she did really do a good job. That was really thing. She you learned a lot of stuff, you know, and it's amazing how it's amazing how things are run too, or not
The
run,
well,
or
the most interesting thing that I took from what she was saying was how you have these, I guess they call them kill shelters, right? That if animals don't get
yeah,
picked up in a certain amount of time, or they're overcrowded, or they're unsalvageable for whatever reason, that they're killed, and because they're kill shelters, people won't adopt from them. And as I thought about that,
yeah,
it seemed kind of counterintuitive to the situation, right? If the other ones
it,
are going to let the animals live and stay there, then I would think if you were really about saving the animal, that you would adopt from one
and,
of the kill shelters. I mean, I don't,
yeah.
know.
It also doesn't help the situation when people purposely let their dogs breed so they just get money off of them.
Well, of course not. Right. That's an ongoing issue. I'm sure.
Yeah. I
Uh,
mean, like we had dogs in the house. We had 19, ended up having 19 dogs. It's not like we wanted to have 19 dogs in the house.
right. Right. Yeah, I heard
All
that
right.
story. Yeah, there was
Yep.
a little
All right. We did make
mix up.
money off of them. We did make money off of them, but it wasn't that much money because to sell them on. It wasn't like we planned to do it. What other
Right.
people use their dogs to give birth every year? You
Right.
know
Right.
that
You
doesn't
know.
help. Also,
No.
the
No.
mixing of dogs, certain dog breeds doesn't help to create a genetic more superior dog.
Right. You guys covered that
Hold on,
last night
hold on.
too. I thought that was interesting.
Stupid fucking computer. I was me punching the computer.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Right, that's it. Okay. Yeah, but it doesn't matter when they create like a superior, like a dog like the American Bully. You
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, people
Uh,
always want bigger and better of everything. And
but
people that
it's not.
have we talked
Yeah,
about
but it's,
status symbols. People.
yeah, it was a state. I mean, yeah, you got this big dog. Oh, he's a lovely dog. Yeah, But didn't you go for two children? Yeah, but he didn't really mean to. They just startled him. Well, that's a bit of a warning symbol there. You know, a warning thing there, mate. You need to keep away from that. Next thing you know, he's in the paper chewing up fucking playground for the children. You know?
Yeah, it happens.
Irresponsible dog owners too.
Oh, of course. You know.
You know,
Uh,
I've known a person to look after a pit bull and a staff. No, it was a staffy. It was a staffy. Yeah, so it was a pit bull. Staffordshire, lovely dog. Wouldn't harm a fly. But you get some idiots who take a dog like that because they think, oh, it's a big top. They make it like it's aggressive.
right.
You
Right.
know?
I mean, I think it's a combination. I mean, I think there are, breeds that are more apt to be able to be trained to be aggressive. And then when they, when they are trained that way, you get what you're talking about, right? But I think the
Yeah.
same breeds, if people, don't train them that way and treat them in a loving way, then they could be great, great family animals. But I do think the instinct, is in there. There was we had friends, and they had I think it was a Queensland Heeler, and
Oh, that's all.
it was a really cool dog, man. And what I was like, because we were kind of at one point very briefly kind of kicking around the idea, when the boys were small, about getting a dog. And I was,
Mhm.
telling the guys, like, well, maybe this would be a good one. He said, well, I said, I'll tell you the issue with this dog, which you may want to consider, is that it will attach itself to one person, and it will protect that person.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
what he was telling me was, and he's like, man, if you're not that person, if it decides, and he said, you probably won't be, it'll probably be your wife or one of the kids. And, if you get upset and you guys start to fight, that dog's going to go after you, because he's going to feel that you're a threat to his person. I
Mm.
don't know, whatever you want to call it.
It's very true. That is
So I
very
was like,
true.
yeah, it's not going to.
I need,
That sounds like a recipe for disaster.
yeah, I need two people. I need a person. I'm not going to say who they are or their thing. I need people. I got given a dog, and it was a big dog. I can't remember what type of dog it was, but it was a big, friendly lump of, you know, but powerful. And I'm saying you're going to need to walk that dog for miles, and it'll be fine. It'll be fine. And this is just the standard of looking after the dog. Then I caught him giving the dog actual human chocolate, and I went, "You don't give a dog human chocolate."
Hmm.
And he goes, "A little bit won't hurt." And I went, "What?" He goes, "A little bit won't hurt." I said, "Yeah, it does." He goes, "No, it doesn't." I said, "Yeah, it does." He goes, "I know a lot more than this. I got told by a vet that a little bit of human chocolate doesn't hurt the dog." These are the people that have dogs. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
You don't give any animals any chocolate, any human chocolate, because it's poisonous to them.
So what ended up happening?
Well, what ended up happening is they gave the dog away because they couldn't cope. They couldn't cope with it.
Oh, I got you.
So that dog being passed around from pillar to post
Yeah.
when it should have really gone to a family who knew what they're doing with that type of animal.
Right. Right.
Like I say, it wasn't a small dog. It was a big dog. It was a big, powerful dog. But they just didn't know how to handle it. Just they didn't. They had the time, but they just couldn't be bothered with it neither.
Yeah, that I don't understand, man. People that get a dog and keep it in a cage or keep it tied up or keep it in a room. It's like, I mean, what's the point of having it, man? That's I think the idea was
Yeah.
just to bring it out and play with it and depending on what kind of dog it is, you know what I mean, and do stuff
Have you?
with it, not
Maybe I've
keep it
got to
locked
address.
up.
Yeah,
I don't
I've
know.
got to address this, Liz. You can catch bugs from a house cat.
Is anyone killed or
Oh,
badly injured by a house cat?
yeah. Hold on.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay. There has been people being killed by house cats. In 2020, a woman was killed by a cat called Minty.
Yeah, cats can get pretty mean, man.
Yeah,
Cats can get pretty mean. I mean, they're smaller and that kind of stuff, but
you can die. They can give you infections through their
y-
scratches,
yeah,
infections through their poo. So yeah, and plus house cats are the worst ones for killing animals too.
yeah, that's
So
true.
there is times. But we're not talking about that. We're not talking about when's the last time somebody killed thing. We're talking about
Yeah, but as far as the
yeah.
shelters and all that, I mean, a lot of things are, very, poorly run or underfunded, and
Yeah.
the system is overwhelmed in a lot of areas.
So yeah, well, there's all animals could kill you through some type of germ or bug, but this is not what we're talking about. We're talking about these shelters, and we're talking about experiences where people didn't have the ability to look at, or they've got the capability, but didn't have the ability to look after an animal. There's a massive difference, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I thought it was a good topic you guys did.
Hmm.
Like I said, I mean, I learned some things from it.
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely.
And I mean, and then Lizzie made a good point. I mean, on the idea of you know people being outraged, but what are you going to do about it? You know,
Yeah, yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
that's a good point. I mean, that goes through a lot of things, not just
Well,
this particular thing.
yeah. I mean, that's what I said too. I mean,
Oh shoot, I think I lost Paul. All right, porn bomb time. Just kidding, Paul. Oh, I hate being on a panel by myself. Paul.
yeah. Sorry about that. I'm having
That's okay.
problems here for the first time. You don't usually having technical problems, do you?
Yeah, no, I just don't like being on panel by myself, man. I just never know what to say.
Well, you're scared. Do you need a helping hand?
I'm not scared. I just don't know what to do, man.
Do you need your cuddles now?
I
Do
was
you,
up
do you need,
a week or so ago. One night, fucking what's his name? Dave just disappeared on me. And I was like, what the hell do I do, man? I don't want to just leave and leave, you know what I'm saying? Leave his stream going. Man, I was up there for 20 minutes trying to figure out, keep the thing going.
well, we'll buy you a wee Bobby, you know what I mean? So you can not be frightened or scared when you get left alone.
Yeah, I don't like to be alone, man.
Oh,
I just
are you
start
feeling
reading the chat and going along with that.
yeah? Are you feeling too big?
I just no, I just don't have too much to say about myself. Like I said, man, it's hard. I think people that do that, man, to stay up there and talk forever on their own, man, that's a
Yeah.
skill, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I hate talking to myself on here. It feels like you're going nuts,
Yeah,
and it feels like
yeah.
you should be locked up in one of those
Right.
mental bones. You know what I mean?
Oh, so since Liz is in the chat and she had some questions about the situation with the time I got bit by the dog and all that, I could tell that story if you want. It was pretty interesting.
Was it a big dog?
Yeah, it was. It was some kind of a black lab mix, and I'm not sure what the
Oh,
mix
so like
was.
a medium size, but quite
Yeah, it wasn't.
powerful.
Yeah, it wasn't huge, but it was. It wasn't small.
Because everybody
Yeah.
forgets that the Labrador is actually a retrieving dog,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
they're used for hunting,
Right.
right?
Right. It makes sense. I mean, the name,
Mm.
right? Retriever. So.
Yeah, so yeah, it's
So.
used for hunting. So they go and grab the prey and bring it back. Yeah, so
Yeah. So what
every,
what had happened was so my good friend, he had gotten this dog, and he had taken in and gotten you know what do you call, I don't know if you call them obedience training or just classes with the dog. I'm not sure exactly
yeah,
what you call that. Anyway, so one day is when I was still up in the Bay Area, and he was like, "Hey, I'm gonna plan was he was gonna come by, him and the dog." And my younger son wasn't even born. My older one was small. He was maybe a year and a half. My stepdaughter was there, and she was, I want to say, let's see, if he was a year and a half, so she was about 7, let's say, and we're all sitting on our back porch, and the dog had been playing in the yard, and doing some of the retrieving stuff. Like, anyway, so we're sitting there under the porch, and all kind of out of nowhere, the dog like lunged and growled at my daughter. And so my buddy was to the left of me. I was sitting right next to her. So I was really thinking about it, and I wasn't trying to attack the dog, but that may have been what he thought. I was like, "Hey, it's okay, Paul, it's okay." And I reached out my hand to like pet him, and he bit into my hand. Luckily, it was me, that was strong enough that I was able to
yeah.
pull my hand out of there. But it broke skin. It left marks. I was wearing a watch. And you could see the marks, the teeth marks on the watch. It was a pretty good thing. Like I said, I was able to get my hand out of there, but I mean, maybe a woman or a kid, it could have been really bad.
Yeah, I
So
mean, I got bit by a dog too.
yeah. So anyway, you know, he grabbed the dog, reprimanded him, whatever, ended up, tying him up, and he was upset. We were all upset, but went about our day, and the dog was still kind of a little jumpy after that. Anyway, he went home, left. It was kind of the end of the incident as far as I was concerned. So he called me up like I think that next morning, I think it was,
Hmm.
just again to apologize about what happened, and I was like, "Hey man, it's cool, no, no harm done, it's all good." And he's like, "Well, you probably should go in and get it checked out."
Yeah,
And I was like, "Well, I mean, I don't know, I'm fine." He's like, "Yeah, but you probably get a shot," and so. And he's like, I'm going to talk to my. Oh, so I guess he. Oh no, then he called. No, he had called his. I'm sorry. Before he called me, he had called the person that he did the training with, and I guess they were the ones that told him, hey, he should really go in, make sure he's got a tetanus shot. I don't know, whatever I needed to do. And so I was like, fuck, okay, okay. So what happened was, at that point, I guess the training person uh, told him that he should report the incident.
yeah,
So he was kind of, he's like, I don't know what to do. So anyway, so when I went to the doctor, I called up, I made an appointment, I went in, and I told him what happened. I had to fill out paperwork, and they were like mandated reporters. So they had to
yeah.
get all this information and call the authorities. And it turned into this, I mean,
Major
really
case.
just a situation, man. So what they ended up doing was they ended up taking the dog on a 10-day quarantine. I got a call from um, the sheriff of his county,
Yeah.
and we lived in separate counties, and the sheriff from my county, the sheriff's office, not the sheriff himself, but
Mm.
the sheriff's department, and had to go through the whole incident. Like I just, kind of what I told you, and then they were asking, they both asked me, um, did the owner in any way incite the dog to attack you? it was like a criminal investigation.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, this guy I've known. This guy was the best man at my wedding, man. We were just hanging out, and they're like, so you had no way, encourage the dog to, to attack you like that. And man, it turned into this big thing, right? To go through it with both, like I said, both sheriffs, both sheriff's department. Plus, I had to write, write up for the doctors when I went. What happened? Um, so anyway, so that was kind of all that was going on my end. So my buddy calls me like day 8 or 9, um, and he's all upset, and he's on this. The dog's still in this quarantine, and so they're basically watching him to see how he's interacting, see how he's doing, and those kind of things. Um, and they were kind of, the authorities were kind of asking me what I wanted to do. Did I want to pursue any? I was like, no, I'm good. I'm not that. I didn't tell them that, but I wasn't that crazy about being around the dog again.
No,
but
no.
but I didn't say that to them. I'll just like, oh, whatever. So he calls me, and he's all broken up, and he's like, man, it's like 8 days in, man. He's like, I got to make a decision in 2 days, and he's like, what they're telling me is that the dog has these aggression issues, and there's something, they can't tell me for sure that he won't, that they won't attack that he won't attack kids again. And my buddy's got, well, I get maybe, no, I don't know. I think what it was, I think my wife was pregnant at the time too, because his sister actually had boys right at the same time that both my sons were born. So he's like, man, I got my nephew, we got the baby coming. He's like, man, I can't trust. He was really in a tough spot in his head on what to do. And I was like, man, if you're going to be worried about it every time you take him someplace, it's up to you if you're able to handle it. Liz is asking if they checked the dog's health. I mean, it was in quarantine with them for those 10 days. So I'm assuming they did everything, within their protocol. Within their protocol, I don't know what they did and didn't do. Honestly,
we've been us brought around dogs. Have been brought dogs most of my life, and one of the last ones we had this collie, and she was a wee nippy sweetie, if you get my meaning.
Uh-huh.
And my sister brought one of her friends around, and it was at that time where blocker boots were sort of in fashion. And she wore this pair of block boots, and she stood on the dog with the block boots. And the dog, being the type of temper, just bit her. And she went and tried to get the dog put down, and the police got what happened. We had the thing, we had the authorities around and said, but she goes, but then she said, I stood on the dog, and goes, well, what do you expect when you stand on the dog with those boots? A dog's an animal. It can't say, oh, you stood on me, you stupid cunt, can it?
Right.
So a dog's way of any animal's way of telling you hurt them is by biting you back.
Right. Yep. My younger son, actually, Liz was talking about a cat. My younger son, our neighbors had a cat and used to come over and hang around our place sometime, and it was actually sitting in a chair. And my boy was probably, God, I don't know, he must have been about 5 or so, 6, maybe about like 5 years old. And he didn't see the cat, and he sat in the chair.
Yeah.
He found out really quick that the cat was there.
Yes.
He jumped up. The cat. I was like, "What happened?" He's like, I don't know, the cat bit me in the butt. He fucking sat on him.
Yeah, that's what the girl done. The girl came in. She had those big, heavy heels. When she went up to get her go home, she stood on the dog's paw with those heels.
Yeah. I mean, so anyway, so Liz is asking what happened to finish the story. So, what ended up happening was at the end of the 10 days, he decided to have the dog put down, and it was a very very emotional situation for for every. And one of his things was that he was having trouble kind of coming to grips with the fact that He's like, what if, when he lunged at my daughter, that he would actually, gone after her, or he's
Yeah.
like, what if he would have gone after Dylan? That was my son Dylan. My son was like I said, he was about 1.5 at that point, probably a little bit younger. And I remember we had this swing that hung off the deck, and he was sitting in that, and my buddy, was like in tears, man. I mean, he was like, what if he would have gone at Dylan, and he could have killed him? And I was like, well, he didn't. I mean, I was like, man, he's like, yeah, but he was just, everybody was just traumatized by the
I think
by
in
the
that
whole
situation,
situation,
in that situation, there's a lot of ifs and possibilities.
So I think I told him, man, you just got to take into account what the people at the animal control are telling you, because they know, they're the experts. So they said that there was possibly something traumatic that had happened to the dog. It was a rescue, so they said there was possibly something traumatic that happened to that dog. Um, that they kind of agreed that when I reached out to just kind of, because I just reached out, I was like, hey, Pono, it's okay. I was just, I was just reaching out just to tell him it was all right. I mean, I wasn't mad at him, but I think, maybe something had happened where he thought I was going to hit him. I don't know. I don't know that much about animals. That was the only time I've ever been involved in something like that.
It is
But I just told him, man, you got to, he's got, it was his decision, and he just didn't want to take a chance. I told him, you got to listen to what the experts are telling you, because I'm sure they know whatever they're seeing in these 10 days is telling them that, there's something wrong there, and it could it could happen again. Now, if you want to take that chance, and the other thing is that once now that report has been made, and they're going to tell you, hey, we're giving you this dog back, but we're letting you know that this could happen. Man, if it killed somebody, now you're looking at a problem.
It sounds like they already knew the dog had a problem. To be
Yeah, I think after I don't know. It seemed like whenever he went through this training course, everything was okay. Because I had asked him, was there any issues with? He's like, no, everything was fine, and it was the first time. I think he had mentioned that the dog maybe, was sometimes a little aggressive with dogs at the dog park or whatever, but nothing over the top. You know what I mean?
No.
But anyway, I was just shocked at, getting these calls from the police, and wanting to press charges on him, and if he had the dog attack, and I was like, my God, this is. I think I talked to his. Let's see. I think I talked to his sheriff's department twice, and mine once, plus the doctors and all, because they were asking me the same questions. If it was like not a planned attack, but was it the owner and owner like, no,
did the owner encourage the attack?
Yeah. I was like, no, I was like. No, he would have been at the hospital if he would have encouraged the attack.
Yes, of course.
But no, none of that. It was just like, I agree with Liz. It was just a very sad situation all around. I held no animosity, towards anybody. I will say this though, for quite a while, man, I became a little skittish, man, just with dogs. Just even walking down the street and seeing a dog and be like,
I've been proper bit by a dog.
Yeah.
A dog sunk its teeth into my upper left arm.
Oh wow, yeah.
And I've still got the scar from it.
Yeah. No, like I said, I was fortunate, man, because I could feel it. But like I said, luckily, I'm a pretty big dude, so I was able to yank my hand out of there. But not everybody would have been able to do that.
I was only a kid,
Oh.
and a dog totally bit my left arm, and I couldn't move my left arm for ages.
Yeah. No, those are like I said, I used to have this Doberman that lived next door to me that people have since moved, but that was a strong animal, man. If that dog decided to go after somebody, they're going to be in trouble.
But
He was always very cool with us. What's funny about him was he was very smart because he knew our voices and
yes,
he knew um, like the boys, right? And
yeah,
so because he was always behind the fence. I behind the fence, and
I
like if
bet,
anybody else
yeah.
pulled up or came up, he would start barking.
Mhm.
But as soon as I would talk, I'd say, hey, it's okay, it's just me. Or if I would do yard work, right away he'd be at the fence, kind of, and I'd be like, no, it's me, it's okay. And then he would
Yeah.
stop because he knew the voice. And my boys would go
Okay.
out and they'd play basketball, and he would never bark at them.
Yeah. So I think we're going a bit off subject, Adam, because as we're talking about shelters. Now
Oh
we're
yeah, yeah,
talking
yeah, yeah.
about the breeds of
Well,
dogs, the types of
that's
dogs.
true. That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just
I
wanted to
mean,
tell that story because I brought
no,
it
no,
up
no, no, no,
last
no.
night.
It's a
But
good story. I mean, I could tell my story. I had my arm chomped by a
yeah,
German Shepherd.
yeah.
You know, as
Yeah, I
younger.
mean,
But
I don't think it really had, in my case, had anything to do with the breed
no,
necessarily,
no.
but the
Sometimes,
size made it
yeah,
more intimidating.
yeah. But let's just talk about breeds of dogs. We're not talking about breeds. We're talking about the shelters there, how they're run. Should they run to fit for purpose? Are people abusing the system of the shelters? That's what we should be looking at too.
No, that's interesting. Yeah, um,
As I said today, as I said to Liz this morning, I said that people who take their animals into shelters, and then next thing you know, they got a new animal.
right, right.
Isn't that an abuse of shelter?
It seems to be abuse of the system, I guess, depending on what the reasoning is. But I know what you're
I
saying.
mean, yeah, if okay, say if the dog is ill and it's dying, that's different.
Right,
But if your dog's old, it's just an old dog. You don't do that to the dog. You're the dog's family. You know.
yeah. I don't know how common that practice is. I mean, of doing it for that
You would,
reason.
yeah, you would
I,
believe
I
me,
don't
mate.
know. I
It's
don't know.
probably more. Do you know what?
Yeah,
It's probably more common than you think.
yeah. It could be. When I think of
Well,
dogs ending up in shelters, I think of either they're running away or people get into a situation where they can't or unwilling to take care of it anymore. You know?
the worst ones are birthdays and holidays because they buy a person a dog and they don't realize how big that dog's going to get
right,
when it
right.
gets to like 24 foot. You know what I mean? They're
Yeah,
fucking three houses too wide. You think, oh, maybe that's a bit too much,
yeah. Right.
but
Yeah.
they do not study the breed of dog. So they get a
Right.
dog for this person, and it's too big for them.
Hmm.
So the dog ends up in a shelter. You get a person that buys a dog or any animal at Christmas. And the person goes, I wanted socks. It does happen. And they get put into the shelter.
right.
It's a fault. So how we. I was chatting to this to my mate today too. I said we used to buy dogs that you'd either protect your houses or they'd be working or there'd be a lap dog.
Right.
We did not buy dogs for status symbols,
Right. Right.
We did not buy a dog that it looks like it would give Arnold Schwarzenegger a good going over.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's true though, isn't it?
Oh yeah. No, that's true. I see it around around here. These guys walking around with these pit bulls and the bullies, and they got them on these big chains, and it's
Yeah,
all
and
just to
you see,
be a
yeah, and you
tough
see.
guy.
I remember one time when I was very little, there was a big guy that used to live around. They lived next to up from me, and he was a street fighter.
Hmm.
He was a proper street fighter. He used to go up to London to street fight. That's by the by. And he would have two pit bulls. And you can tell he's walking his pit bulls because he was a big man and he had them both, one on each hand.
Right.
but he was capable of keeping in control. And everybody, when they seen him, they sort of gave him a wide berth and just said, right to him, and he'd be nice and polite and say all right back, and you know. But they weren't for him. But those are the things that mean. State he loved his pets, but they were like a status symbol to him too.
Mm. Well, I think it goes the other way too with people that get these little carry around dogs that they pay, crazy amounts of money for.
Yeah, you mean
Pomeranians and
the handbag dogs.
yeah, exactly, the handbag. Yeah, I seen somebody the other day in the store, man. This guy, the guy, and I think it looked like his mom, an older lady, and they had a baby carriage, with a stroller with one of those little plastic things around it, and they had a dog inside it, pushing it around the store. Whatever. I mean,
Yeah.
that's their deal, I guess, man. I don't
I
know.
would have just turned round and slapped him.
It's just strange, man. It's just strange to me.
Yeah,
You know.
but that's what I mean. The people don't realise the responsibilities of having pets. So they buy a person a pet, and the person goes, "But I haven't got the time to buy a pet. Why are you buying me the pet?" And they end up at
Right.
the shelter. Now you do that 500 times. If you don't do that, some it happens, right? Say
Right.
say that happens in say okay, so it happens in Phoenix. Okay, so you've got the animal found in Phoenix, right? There's how many people live in Phoenix? Several million.
Hmm.
So imagine 500 people, 500 of these people buying a person a dog not able to keep. That is 500 dogs.
Yeah. Like you said, they
You
got to
see,
go. Got to go
yeah,
someplace.
you see the point I'm making, and the 500 guys and say 400 dogs are unwanted.
Yeah. No, I get
It,
it.
the system gets overflowed, and you have to
Right.
do what it says. They have to introduce kill shelters. I mean, it sounds absolutely disgusting, but you have to look at it in context. You know,
Well, like she was talking about, you got to just look at it. I mean, it's just a sheer mathematics of things, right?
yeah,
If a
yeah.
shelter can hold 100 dogs, and you got 100 dogs, and there's another 30 dogs,
Yeah.
I mean, what do you do? They.
But people protesting these kill shelters. Well, ask her how many of them are meat eaters.
Well, yeah. I mean, there's that, right? Of course, there's that too.
You know, I mean, cows are sentient beings. I mean, they can feel and they can think. So, but we eat cows, we eat sheep, we eat kangaroos, we eat any type of meat apart from human meat. You know, these are
Yeah.
still animals that can feel, but
Yeah.
they
I mean, I
contain.
would have been. I would have been curious. Since I mean, I don't know. I didn't read all the articles and things that she was talking about, but I would have been curious. Like she was saying, these people. All right, you're protesting the fact that it's a kill shelter.
Mm,
They shouldn't be killed. Let's say we agree on that, right? Okay, what's your solution? I mean, what's
yes,
your proposal? Well, I don't
yes.
know. They just shouldn't be killed. Well, that's not solving anything.
This
What's your
is yeah. This is Rotty the Rottweiler, last seen coming out of the park with a kid's arm in his mouth.
yeah,
You know,
right. I mean, I don't know what's the,
yeah, you,
what's their solution to it. Spayed or neutered before being adopted out. That should help some of the shelter overcrowding.
no, because
Well,
then you
yeah,
get back then that what happens is you'll get backyard puppy farms.
right. No, I see what she's saying. I mean, but
Yeah,
yeah, I
but
mean,
the problem is you'll get backyard puppy farms, and
yeah,
these
but I
are
think those
conditions.
are those are existing. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah, what do we call them?
those
I forget what we call them here. I forget.
those are the case. So
Hmm?
yeah, those will create conditions that you wouldn't even let. Yeah,
Oh,
just absolutely disgusting.
right. Yeah, I knew a guy that had one here, and I coached. I knew the
Liz,
guy up
Liz,
from.
Liz. Every one of those animals is one less animal that can be reduced. I don't agree with you, Paul. Backyard puppy farms, they'll take them, they'll breed them illegally. If you've seen backyard puppy farms, you'll understand that you can't neuter every animal. It's impossible to neuter every animal. People will make money off of these animals. People will have a bitch, and she'll be pregnant twice a year. I mean, once or twice a year. That is no good, and they'll sell the thing. They'll sell the animals on. But if all animals can be spayed and neutered before being adopted out, that would help shelter overcrowding. No, because again, you missed the whole point. People will buy animals for
Oh, puppy mill, yeah.
presents. Yep, for
That's what I mean.
presents, and they'll give them to somebody as a present. Go, there you go. I've got you a dog, but I don't want a dog. I haven't got time to look after the dog. Where are you going to take the dog? No amount of spraying or neutering is going to stop that.
Well, I do think that the puppy mills though are producing certain breeds and certain types. So in
They are,
that sense,
yeah, they are. Also,
right. So in that sense, I
it's
mean, and I agree with Liz that they're going to continue. They're going to continue to go whether the animals from the shelters are spayed and neutered or not. So I think it'll reduce it. I don't think it would solve the issue,
it wouldn't solve it. It would not.
right. But I see what she's saying though. I think it would reduce the chance. I mean, and
Yeah,
maybe they
but
already do. I don't know. I mean,
but
I'm not
also
sure.
we're forgetting human behavior. Like I said, a man will walk into work and will go, "Oh, my wife would love this, or my girlfriend would love this." They buy the girlfriend a little, don't say handbag dog or a dog there, and the cute little puppy. Girl goes, "But I don't want the puppy." The bloke goes, "Well, I haven't got time to look after the puppy. What should I do with it?"
You're right, right. Well, that's obviously adding to the problem,
Hmm.
but I mean, I don't think you. I mean, I don't think that's something that can be stopped.
You
You
can't
know,
stop it. No matter
no, no.
how
But I
many
do.
neuters, yeah, but how many neuters or even spay to an animal, you couldn't stop it.
No, no.
Because somebody's all going to find a
But I
way.
think it can be reduced. Like somebody was saying yesterday that they pick up stray cats and then have them spayed and neutered, and then they're feral cats and then have them spayed and
Yeah,
neutered.
but cats are different. Cats are, if you notice, cats are more independent than dogs.
Well, no, right, no. But my point was that by doing that, maybe it doesn't solve the problem, but it reduces it. And so
And
anything
yeah,
that can
but
be done to reduce it, I think, is
yeah,
a good thing.
also with cats, they will travel miles just to get to get some.
Yeah, that's right, right.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, I
well,
hear the
dog,
well, I hear the cats in heat outside my window
yeah,
here. There's some cats around the not like it used to be, but I heard them recently just outside my window. Like, oh great,
oh, just
you know,
Jesus Christ, Liz.
cats are still part of the
Liz,
animals.
yes, we know that, but we're saying cats are more independent animals than dogs, which is a true fact.
Well, I believe so. I mean, I believe that's the case.
Yeah, a dog will not travel to get lucky. A cat will. You know, so spraying is the spraying and neutering of animals. Yeah, you can do that, but would it take away the problem? No. Would it help? Yeah, but you're still going to have the problem, and it's going to have the problem the way we buy too.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's dismissing the importance or plight of the cats. I mean, I think, I mean, I don't know. I think Liz is getting the idea that we're dismissing, cats, and I don't. That's not the case. I think it's just kind of a different situation, And my point about bringing up about the cats is, I think, again, what they were saying that they do, I think, is something that helps to control the population. And I think Liz's idea about animals not being adopted out until they're spayed and neuters, I think would help the situation. I don't think it would solve it. I think that's kind of that's where I'm at with it. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. Things that we are the worst ones to blame for the overcrowding of these places.
Well, of course. I mean, the animals. I mean, the animals they're just going on instinct. Like you talk about, hey, cats get in heat, man, and they're gonna do their thing, man. It's not like you can tell them, hey, the shelter's full, guys. Don't have any more cats. I mean, we got plenty of humans that are doing that, and so if you can't, control humans in that way, you're certainly not going to control any animals. Like you said, animals are, whether they're domesticated or not, the bottom line is they're still wild animals. I mean, going back to the safety issue, I know it's a little bit off the topic of the shelter, but with any animal, you got to be careful.
So I'm going to put it to you, because this says it sound like Paul is. I'm going to put it to you. Where did you hear me say? Where did you hear me say that is then, please? Because right now I haven't said anything of the contrary. I just said, would it help? It's more to do with us than to do with thing. Cats are different, though. They are different.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. I think cats are different.
Cats are. It's the way we buy animals. It's the way we buy lots of things. It's modern consumption. Well, you
I
don't
do not
agree.
agree.
Well
What you?
done.
I mean, well, I don't know. I mean, I don't know how. Yeah. What are you disagreeing on? The cats are different than dogs. I mean, I'm not sure.
Cats are more independent.
Yeah, I mean, from what I know, there tends to be a lot more feral stray cats than there are feral stray dogs around. And if there are stray dogs, usually they're picked up.
Cats are a lot different. Yeah, we've had.
You know.
I've been brought up with cats all my life, and they end up bringing nice presents to you.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I'm not
Yeah,
sure what the. I'm just not sure what the disagreement is.
yeah, they
I mean,
bring nice presents.
I don't
Then
know.
you find out they're nice. Then you find out a cat. Look at the cat like being ill. Then next thing you know, find remains of mouse on your floor.
Cats are part of the problem. That they are different from dogs means nothing, in my opinion.
I don't know where to go on
Uh,
this one, Dick.
yeah, I mean, I'm not sure what the. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Maybe if Liz wants to come up and explain.
No, 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 Maiden.
No, no. Okay, I don't know.
She could come up for a different subject, but not this one.
Okay,
She
because I
can
don't.
come
I
up
mean,
when we. She can come up when we end this one.
okay, because I mean, I don't know. You know, I mean, we agree that cats are part of the problem of their overpopulation of the shelters, right?
You're talking about shelter
Right. I
overcrowding.
mean, I don't think anybody. I don't think anyone doesn't believe that cats are part of the issue. I mean, I don't want to speak for Paul, but I don't. I understand that there's cat overcrowding in shelters.
Well, you're very welcome to leave, Liz. I'm not gonna beg or plead for you to stay. I'm not that type of person to beg
Oh
or
yeah,
plead
yeah. I
anybody to
don't. I don't know.
stay.
I mean, okay. I don't know. I don't. I don't quite. I don't quite understand. I don't. I don't think we're beating anybody up. I just think there's maybe a little bit of a miscommunication on what's meant as far as
But
the
you're
cats. I don't.
welcome.
I don't. I
You're
don't.
welcome to stay, and you're welcome to go. You don't need to announce how you're gonna leave. So I believe it's the way we buy them over the overcrowding of shelters and why the need to kill shelters is totally our fault. It's the way we buy society, we buy stuff in modern society now. Um, it's the way we buy for birthdays and seasonal gifts and stuff like
Mhm.
that.
Everything's disposable now, right?
Yes, everything's disposable now.
I mean, we talk about.
Um,
I mean, you mentioned earlier about fixing your computer, right?
yeah, yeah,
I mean, I remember. I'm old enough to remember a time when people fixed everything. There were
yes,
TV
yes,
repair shops. Oh, the toaster's
yes,
not working. We're going to take it
yeah,
into, let's take it down to Frank, and he'll fix it, or the
yeah,
whatever it was. I mean, the waffle
yes.
maker, the I don't you name it, right? The
You
weed
take
whacker,
yeah,
weed whackers.
yeah,
Now, no, now I mean now this generation. I mean my boys, man, the batteries run out on something. The
yeah,
batteries run out, and they're like, "Hey, Dad, I need a new controller. What about the battery? I don't know. It's not working. I need a new one."
yeah,
Now it's just a throwaway society. Coffee makers.
yes.
It's just, and so I think, and I think unintentionally. I mean, if you look at it, it kind of bleeds into other areas. Possibly, and for some people, it's pets. They're
Yep.
disposable. That's just a
I'm,
cat. It's just a dog. It's
yeah.
just a bird. It's just a
I'm a little bit,
lizard. And
yeah, I'm a little bit annoyed. I'm a little bit annoyed because if you're leaving, just leave. Don't need to announce leaving. I'm not going to here to beg for you, anybody to stay.
well, no, I think that might have been in reference to the fact that I asked her to come up. I think is why she said that.
I know the reference is not on this one because it'll turn heated. I know it'll turn heated.
Yeah, yeah. No, I got you.
That's why I didn't want it.
Okay, no, that's fair. That's fair. I
And I
just,
said,
like I said,
yeah, I
I
said,
just thought there was some kind of miscommunication, and
no,
hopefully,
no,
you can
when I,
resolve it
yeah,
at a different time.
no, no, but when I said, when I said we can stop this, and you're welcome to come up after we stop this conversation,
Right, right. I got you.
but I'm not going to have anybody say, "Well, I'm leaving. I need to announce their departure." I'm just like, okay, then.
Right,
If you have to go, you go.
right.
You have to leave. If you don't like the conversation, don't like the conversation.
Yeah,
Don't
I'm not
expect.
crazy about what I don't like, and it didn't happen in this situation, is the um saying goodbye. I'm never coming back.
Yeah,
Okay, okay.
and
Then
no, and
yeah,
to say that I'm getting beaten up and not got or getting beat up enough. Don't be beaten up. It's called a difference of opinion.
yeah. I don't understand that. I don't know. I'm not sure what happened. To be honest with you.
It's like we're not old enough to have opinion. It's like with kids. I've been around animals all my life. Really, I have. I've been brought up from the age of dot, with animals. My first dogs, I can remember my first dog's name. It was Kimmy and Goldie.
Hmm.
One, there was a black and white border collie and a golden retriever, and that was back in 78, 79. I was born in 75. So I've been brought
Right.
up with dogs. Well.
See, see, for me, I'm the other way. Um, I've never had a pet in my adult life. I had a couple of cats when I was young. Um, I've never had a pet. I don't have my mom and dad. my dad lived on a farm until he was 20 in Italy, and my mom lived on a farm when she was young. So to them, the way they were raised, like you had talked about before, dogs, animals in general were there to work on the farm. They were, and they had dog. I mean, I'm not saying they were mean to their animal or dogs or anything, but to them, dogs were dogs, man, and animals were animals, and they weren't meant to, I mean, my God, I mean, if my parents, talk about people bringing dogs and cats into their bed, they would have shit themselves. They didn't even let them. I mean, to them, I mean, they didn't even come in the house. You know what I mean? That's just because like I said, they grew up on farm, right? So the dog was outside or had a dog house. Not you didn't. The dog didn't eat at the kitchen table with you. I mean, to them that that was insanity.
I still know people not to allow their animals inside the house.
Yeah, I mean, and that's. But see, my point. That's how I was. That's how I was. That's how I was raised to think. But over time, I've adapted. Like, because again, the people like I know like Lizzie was talking yesterday about her dogs are like kids. Those are my fur babies, and all their dads eating, and they're going in the kitchen. To me to me, I can't relate to that, but I respect it because I know for some people, that's like their kids. You know what I mean? I mean, I have a friend in recovery that her dog literally saved her life. It kept her one day from ending her life. So to her, that dog is, probably more family to her than a lot of our real. You know what I mean? And so I get it. So I don't cast judge. It's not what I choose to, But when people first started doing that, when it started getting trendy a few years back, and people were like, "Oh this is my baby," and they call them their, "Oh, grandma's coming to visit," and it was the cat's, owner's mom. It was like, man, there's something wrong with these people, man. You guys realize these are animals, right? But I came to realize, no, the people get attached to them, and they're, the love that the animals show to the people is something special, man. A lot of times when people, if people, acted more like animals, the world might be a better place, honestly. So I get it. I don't dismiss people. It's not my thing. I don't, at this point in my life, I may never have an animal, and I don't see myself calling, my animals babies, but that's just me. That's okay. It's something different for different people, right? But I think people just don't adapt though to other thinking,
No, but I won't. Like I said, I won't. If anybody's like, "I'm leaving," well, off you go then.
Yeah, I get it.
You don't expect me to come and beg for you to stay and go, "Oh no, we're wrong."
Yeah, I don't know. I know. I agree with you. It's like, hey, maybe this isn't the conversation for you. Hopefully, you come back another day. We'll have fun on something else. We'll talk about something else.
I mean, it's like I said when you said that, I said no, we'll buy because it'd end up being an argument.
Right.
And they said we should come up, and I never said she couldn't come up. I just said we'll come up when we stop the topic.
Right. That makes sense.
So there won't be. I don't have this. Like I said, this is like my virtual house. Everybody's welcome, but this is my rules.
No, I certainly respect that too.
Yeah, and these rules have saved this channel because how many times have people tried to come up and I've blocked them?
Right. Right.
It's not a big channel.
Right.
It's a small one. We know it's a small one.
Well, the first thing is, I was actually talking to somebody about this yesterday on their panel. Is like the first thing people got to do, whether you agree with the person, like the person, or anything, is respect the channel host and who on the panel, on the panel, because they're the ones that are running it. And if you're going to come there and yell at them and talk over them, and and do all these things, then that's not, that's not right, because that's their channel. And then, if they throw you out and they're like, oh, they kicked me out. Well, yeah, because you're not respecting the person.
I didn't kick her out. I didn't say I wanted her to
No,
leave.
I'm not talking about in your case. I'm talking in general.
Yeah, in
where
general.
you see that happen, where people just disrespect the host and scream.
Well,
I got mad a couple of times in Angels, where people just kept going, and Angel was trying to talk. And I was like, hey, just stop and let him talk. It's his fucking channel.
But to say you're getting beaten up enough when.
Yeah, I don't know what the beating up was. I don't know.
Yeah, nobody really disagreed. We were just saying cats are more independent.
Yeah, I didn't understand the argument, to be honest with you. And so that's why I was just saying I disagreed with I don't see the difference between dogs and cats. That was my but I didn't understand.
That's what I said. I said cats are different to dogs.
Right. They are. And they are in this situation, but I don't think anybody was diminishing the role of cats in any of this. I don't know I don't know. I'm not sure what the beef was, to be honest with you. So I don't know. It's all right. Yeah, it's just what it is, man. Overall, like I said, I think last night was a great discussion. I learned some things. I think the idea of, Pete, like you say, Liz was saying about people complaining about things but not wanting to get involved or at least come up with some kind of solution is kind of silly.
But also, Liz has got to remember, people like complaining just for the sake of complaining.
Well, that's true. There's professional protesters. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
They'll get on board with anything, especially if it's anti-government, right? The government's not doing enough.
And there's the prime example just then. There's no pun leaving. Sorry, getting beaten up over enough. Take care. Nobody was beating her up. We'll just disagree.
Right. It seemed like I don't.
And we weren't being rude to her. Well, I certainly was not rude.
Yeah, I don't think I was. I was just trying to clarify what we were talking. What you meant.
May have been a bit abrupt. Was it abrupt? Is that the word?
Yeah. Well, I think earlier you were trying to keep things on topic, and that's a good thing. And then we started drifting off about the breeds and all that. But as far as the other stuff, I really don't know, bro. I don't know.
You just got to remember, when you're ever in somebody's panel or somebody's chat, it's their chat, it's their panel. Vic, you've gone again. Vic, I'm all alone. There's nobody here beside me. Oh, dear. Right, so usually done the recap. Now we can ask am I asking myself? So usually I have a bit of fun. Now let's clean this aura or tension or whatever has been around, because you booted yourself for fix's sake, Vic. There you go.
I'm back.
How the fuck did you boot yourself?
I don't know. I pushed it's easy on your phone, trust me.
yeah, I can believe it is.
I just pushed there's one arrow on the bottom, and if you push that, you're out. And I've done pretty good lately, man. I used to kick myself sometimes 4 or 5 times a stream.
Okay, so now we're gonna clean. Now we're gonna clean the area because it feels.
We're gonna what?
Now we're going to clean the aura of this channel because it feels a bit heated, if you get my meaning. Not
I got you.
That's what happened. So we're going to have a bit of laugh and a bit of thing now. Liz, me,
I totally believe it's the way we consume stuff now. It's the modern way of living, and this is my conclusion about this. It's our way we. It's our modern living. Is how we. This is modern life now. We keep buy these. We buy animals as presents, and when they can be unwanted, whether it be a cat, dog, goldfish, whatever type of animal, nobody's got the time or duty, or even the thought to care. And they go, "Oh no, we don't want an animal."
Right.
And they
Yeah.
find the animals getting old, and they put the animal in. And
So I'll tell you, man, this is when my one of my sons, I can't remember, I don't even sure which one it was. We had a birthday party for him, and their mom decided that because she used to like to do theme parties, so she decided to do like a barnyard theme for the party, right? So the games were barnyard
yeah,
based, and anyway, so the whole thing was kind of around like farm and barnyard, right? I mean, he was
yeah.
like, I don't know, 3 years old, whatever it was. It was probably my
Okay.
older one. But anyway, so the point is though, this one family we knew, and we didn't know them real well, but they showed up with these baby chickens, and I thought I thought they just brought them, like they had them, like they were theirs, and they just brought them as part of the part of the theme for the kids
Yeah,
could
yeah, yeah.
pet them
Cool.
and that. But
Yeah.
no, that was no, but that was the gift. They brought
Okay.
us baby chickens, man, and we lived in San Jose at the time.
Was your name the Colonel?
No, my name was the asshole because I told them take your chickens with you.
Yeah. So
And they were upset. The wife was mad. She was like, "You're gonna turn down our gift."
So
I told
yeah,
my
I mean,
wife, I
that's
said,
outrageous.
you said you better handle this because not only am I going to turn down the gift,
Okay.
but
Okay. So
anyway,
what
so
we're
that
gonna
was an
do? Yeah.
example of somebody giving someone a
Yes.
live animal as a pet.
Right. I'm gonna end this stream, but it's not gonna. I'm not gonna close the studio because I want to start over again into a more fun side.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
Yeah. So stay up.
Okay.
Stick around. 'Cause
Okay.
I'd
Yeah,
like to chat to you for-
I got about 10, 15 more minutes because then I got to go pick up my boys. But I'll be around.
Okay. No, no,
Okay.
no. Okay then. Okay then. All right. So yeah, I'll end the stream. We'll have a chat, and then I'll start it all up again.
Okay. So do you want me to
Okay.
get out or no?
No, stay in the.
Okay,
the
stay in.
thing.
Okay.
Just stay in the studio. I'm just going to end this.
I got you.
Okay. So I think the conclusion is, guys, that it's the way the modern life is now. We live in a world that everything's easily replaced, and any animal can be easily replaced too now. So these things are totally human fault. You know, it's right having the pounds where people couldn't care for the animals, or the animals have gone missing, and the people have moved away. And now we've come to a point where we're just giving the animals in because they're getting old, or we're moving, and we just don't want them anymore. It's a sick and horrible thing. What do you think, Vic?
Yeah, no, I tend to agree with you. We're in a society of, like I said, everything's disposable. People got to think
Yeah,
these things through before they do them. I said, we were thinking about, years ago getting a dog, and we kind of came to the conclusion that, we like to travel, we like to go on day trips and things, and sometimes that's not always, the best of having leaving a dog home alone, and then we did,
yeah,
got to find somebody to watch them and all that stuff, and we decided for us it was better to not do it. Now we could have did it, right, got one, and then a year later been like, oh, this is too much hassle, and then there you go, right? And so
yeah.
and then
Okay,
so instead we just made the adult decision to not do it, and I think that people got to think things through before they do them.
that's very true. Okay, so thank you all that have watched this. Thank you all that will watch this. And if you're new here, please like and subscribe. And hopefully we can gain more subs this way. So I'll say thank you, Vic, for joining up. Thank you to the chat. And you all have a blessed day and look after yourselves. So
Yep.
I
Thanks,
will
Paul.
be restarting in 5 minutes for more fun chat, just talk about absolute bollocks. I think we like bollocks.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Okay. See you later, guys. You'll take care. Goodbye. Okay, end stream.